Now, just before we move on to any questions that you may have, I wanted to just sort of share with you, if you will, some final sort of cloud comments and observations. And the first is really that it's sometimes difficult in the cloud to compare apples to apples. And in many ways, you have to sort of, pick through the basket of fruit, if you will, figure out which is an apple, which is an orange, which is a grapefruit, whatever. And one of the key things that makes it difficult often to compare apples to apples is that traditional software offerings often have far more functionality associated with them in comparison to cloud offerings. So cloud offerings tend to be far more focused and precise in terms of what they do. If that is the most part of what you need to get done, and the argument here is that out of the box, or they're like 80% or 85% of what you need done is contained in 20% of the functionality, or 25% of the functionality. If you've purchased any major technology systems over the years at all, you can really relate to that comment, I know, because that's often what you end up experiencing. And so it seems to you, and it in many cases really is, as a consumer of technology, that traditional software offerings are really bloated in terms of the functionality that you really need. There's more functionality there than you really need. And if you don't need it, why are you paying for it? Nonetheless, often what will happen is that cloud offerings will look to be far less substantial than traditional software offerings. And my argument would be, even if it's less substantial, if it's what you need, and if it does all you need it to do, and it's far cheaper, and you can scale it, you can buy more or buy less as you need to. You don't have to tie up capital. Why do you need it? I mean, less is more in today's business environment, as we know. And this sort of dynamic is particularly true for business applications, such as enterprise resource planning or ERP software, or customer relationship management or CRM software. And in order to really, so at the bottom line, in order to make sure that you're comparing, you may not even end up comparing apples to apples. You may be comparing an apple to an orange. The question is, what do you really need? What functionality do you really need? What functionality do you really use? Does the cloud offering have that? If so, it's likely going to be far more cost effective for you to consume it in that way. And the second, another sort of comment would be, this is for business applications, those that previous comment. For basic desktop and productivity tools, the days of having servers on premises and being maintained by local service providers, I would argue, are fading very, very fast. There's no particular reason that infrastructure can't be located in the cloud, accessed in the cloud, and far more effectively and cost effectively than it is today. It's just, so, and you can often achieve, as a CIO and a CFO, pretty significant cost savings pretty immediately by shifting a lot of the maintenance of your desktop and productivity tools to the cloud. And the final cloud comment that I would make is that really looking forward for those in the IT world particularly, the real power in terms of the future potential lies in the ability to cheaply access computing power that you otherwise previously could not have ever afforded. And here's an example. If you think of a manufacturer distributor and they're faced with scheduling, complex scheduling decisions and equations on a daily basis. If they had a scheduling system similar to what's used by airlines, for example, to schedule planes, given all the variables and disruptions that they can encounter, as any manufacturer distributor, by the way, also does in different ways. What difference would that make to the business? Would they be more efficient? Well, of course they would, if they had access to the computing power that allowed them to have those kinds of scheduling systems. And that computing power, the point is available in the cloud, and it will be relatively cheap. So that's really, I think, where the true leverage lies.